So let's talk about Qi. What is Qi? Qi is often described as the life force, and although this description, as any other description, is accurate, it's also limited, because you cannot describe what you cannot comprehend in your mind. It's too complete, it's too total, but you can describe it through the feelings and the workings with energy. So Qi, slowly, by describing it and by working with it, will become clear to you what it is. Now, we start here with an introduction to Qi, and you can read these introductions everywhere. You can read about Qi everywhere. And if I didn't have anything to add about Qi, I wouldn't talk about it. But I think there are some things that you don't come across very easy, or you don't come across at all, and these things are crucial if you want to work with Qi. Now let's start with the general idea about Qi. You can look at Qi from a philosophical level, and you can look at Qi from a working level. Now, from a philosophical level, everything is Qi. The whole universe and everything in it. All the things that are alive, all the things that are matter, a mountain, a tree, whatever, everything is Qi. And to come to that, you take something and you zoom in on it, and you come to the molecules, you come to the atoms, you come to the protons, neurons, electrons, and if you look at these particles, and if you zoom in, then you see that, for example, an atom is built out of a proton, neuron, and electrons. But between the proton, the neuron, and the electrons, there's a huge space of only energy, Qi. Now, if you zoom into the protons, you see that it is not a real particle, but this also consists of smaller particles and a huge space of energy. And you zoom into that, to the quark, to the boson, and all these more little particles, you see that you come out into only energy. So everything is a condensation of energy in different ways, different frequencies, different rhythms. Everything is a condensation of the one and basic Qi. That is the philosophical point. So now you know that you can find Qi in everything. That also means for your exercise you can take Qi from everything. If you look at Qi from a working point, I already said that Qi is always regarded as the life force. And the life force is still not so tangible, but more tangible is the spark of life, the thing which start our life with. But also the stream of life, so it's the flow of life within your body, around you. So that is a more workable way of describing Qi. Qi is also described as the energy between heaven and earth. Heaven, the energy coming to us from above; earth, the energy coming to us from below. And then Qi is the energy where they mix together. If you look at our body, then Qi is also between our heavenly Qi and our earthly Qi. And our heavenly Qi you can call our spirit. Our earthly Qi you can call our body. And Qi is in between those two, where these two interconnect. Now that is the Qi that we use in acupuncture, in treatment. That is the Qi that flows through the meridians. That is the Qi that surfaces in the acupuncture points, and you can reach through the acupuncture points. So that is the Qi that we use, the smaller scheme, if we need to heal something or somebody. So if you want to work with Qi, you first look where you want to work. You paint a picture of your workplace, and then you see where the Qi is, and you can start working with the Qi, amending the Qi, directing the Qi, correcting the Qi. So for example, if I work with a patient, I first picture that patient as a whole, then I see where his blockages are, where he doesn't have enough energy, so I can see and start restoring his energy in the right way. So maybe his lungs don't get enough Qi, and I can bring Qi over there. Maybe his liver will block, and I can deblock, deliver chi. So in that way I work with chi in the picture that I painted before. And in the way that I correct the chi of a patient, of course in Qigong you can also correct your own energy. And how that works, well, we will explain that in the exercise, but think of it like turning on some switches, opening some valves, so let streams go in other directions, like that. Now if it's about chi that's outside of me and I want to work with it, I paint that picture and I paint myself inside that chi, or I paint that chi inside myself. So I can take in the energy, the chi of a tree for example, and root myself with my chi, or I can erect myself and make myself stronger in my standing point. I can also take the energy of the moon. I calm and take it in myself and calm myself with it. So in this way you can take all kinds of energy around you, you paint the picture, you paint the chi involved, and you copy yourself inside that energy, or you copy that energy inside yourself, and then you become that chi. So until now I didn't tell you anything new. I told just repeated what's being said and what's being used in exercises, but there are two things that I think you need to know if you really want to work with Qi, if you really want to do Qigong. And these two principles are that the source of Qi is everywhere present. And the second principle is that everything, all Qi, is connected. And you already knew these two things if you thought about it, but that these two things are the principles to work with Qi, that is something that you maybe not realized. Now, what does this implicate? Now, the first principle, that the source of Qi is everywhere. Now this means that it doesn't have a fixed setting. That means that the source of Qi can be anywhere where you work with Qi. And that's very important to realize, because the source of Qi can be in my fingertip, it can be in my big toe, it can be in my brain, it can be anywhere. It can be in the tree if I put the emphasis there. It can be in the moon if I put the emphasis there. So the source of Qi can be anywhere where you work with Qi, where you paint your picture and the Qi involved. Now the second implication is that the source of Qi is always present. You cannot work with Qi without the source. Now you see many people doing Qigong without working with the source. In fact, most of the people doing Qigong, they don't work with the source. Yeah, at the beginning of the exercise they say, okay, let's connect to the Dantian, then they start working, but they're not connected anymore. And at the end of the exercise, okay, bring your Qi back to your Dantian. But they're not connected in between. They're working with Qi without the source. And that is working with Qi in a very limited way. Now the third thing is that if there's a body of Qi, if you know where to work with Qi and you picture that Qi, then you will find the source inside that, mostly in the center of it. Then as a fourth, maybe following concept, that if there's a flow of Qi, then there's a source of Qi pulling it or pushing it. So in the beginning of the flow or at the end of the flow, there's always a source of Qi working and making that flow happening. So the middle of our Qi, already mentioned it, we call it the Dantian. And if we stand up straight and we're standing like balanced, then the Dantian is in the middle, from left to right, is in the middle from front to back, and is in the middle from top to bottom. And there we find the source of our energy if we stand like that. But if we start working with it, it can move, it can shift. and it's also not a set point. But if we work with the body of Qi, so the Qi outside our Dantian, we consider the Dantian as the middle and the center and the source. So you see that the source of Qi is a crucial concept for working with it, for working with Qi in Qigong. Because in Qigong, everything comes from the source, is the source, and becomes the source. So that makes that the source of Qi and Qi together is at the same time your goal, the way you're working, and your point of beginning and ending. So now we go to the second concept, and that is the concept that everything is connected. That means if you go beyond your bodily concepts, that you're not limited, then you can become anything, anywhere, and anybody. That means you can become your teacher. So if you have a teacher, and it's a really good teacher, you really can position yourself, your Qi inside that person, and you become her or him, and you can really feel his or her energy. This also means that you can heal with the healthy parts. For example, my left arm is hurting, my right arm is good, then I take the Qi of my right arm and put it into my left arm, and then I correct this energy. Or I have a stomach ache here, and this part is okay. Then I take this energy part and I position it over there. So everything is connected, everything is the same, and everything influences each other. So if everything is connected, that also means that this also goes beyond your exercise. So if you hurt somebody, you hurt yourself. So if you heal somebody, help somebody, you help yourself. So the concept of Qi goes beyond your exercise, and you will see that it will influence your life and the way that you conduct yourself. Now the last thing that comes with the concept that everything is connected is that with every new connection there's a new source of the Qi. Because there's a new body of Qi, then also the source will be different. And this is something that you also work a lot within your exercises. Now by listening to this, you may get an idea what these two concepts are, but they really will become more tangible, more real, if you start working with it in your exercises. Now the last thing is that there are no limits in what you can do. Everything is without boundaries, without limits, because all is one and you are all. Now the last thing is that there are no limits in what you can do. Everything is without boundaries, without limits, because all is one and you are all. So I understand this is just an introduction into Qi and how we're going to work with Qi. That we're going to work with the source, we're going to work with all the connections that we have, and I want you to realize that the full concept will fall into place once you start working with it. Now to end this introduction of Qi, I want to give you a few things that you will come across when you read about Qi or when you go into your exercises, and that is the terminology of Qi. For example, we have Yin Qi and Yang Qi. Now, the concept of Yin and Yang, it goes too far to explain this here and now, and I will come back to that. But let's say that the Yin Qi is the Qi more connected to our earthly basis. The Yin Qi is the Qi that belongs to our body. And the Yang Qi belongs more to our spirit. It has more the heavenly aspects in it. So that is the difference between Yin Qi and Yang Qi. Yin Qi is a build-up of energy, Yang Qi is an activation of energy. Another form of Qi that you come across is Wu Qi. Wu Qi is the undivided primal Qi. It is a philosophical concept. We cannot reach it, but it is, if you go deeper and deeper into Qi, you come more into the undivided portions of Qi, and finally you come to the primal Qi, which is Wu Qi. Yuan Qi, another concept, comes forth from that primal Qi, from Wu Qi. And we work with Yuan Qi as the original Qi. So the original Qi comes before there's a determination whether it becomes Yin Qi or Yang Qi, whether it becomes something that will activate or something that will build up. Yuan Qi is something that is the original source, and it comes forth from your Dantian, from your own source in the middle of your Qi body. The last concept that you can come across is Shar Qi. Shar Qi is the Qi that doesn't belong to us. It is negative energy that comes to us, that comes inside of us, and that we don't want. It is the garbage byproduct of a transformation of Qi, and we don't want it. It is the Qi that becomes harmful for us if we keep something for too long. For example, an emotion, anger, fear, grief. All these things, if we keep them, they become Shar Qi, negative energy, something that we don't want. And finally, Shar Qi is the Qi that comes forth from a process of disbalance. For example, there's a process of transforming Qi, it doesn't go good, and then Shar Qi is a byproduct. So until here, the introduction of Qi. And again, the concept of Qi will grow on you during your exercises, and I will tell you more and more about it. But with this introduction, you have a basic layer which you can build on, and then slowly Qi will become a concept that's really natural to you.